Alright, today we're going to go for an overpass overview. We're going to focus on positioning to play first as the counter terrace, and then I'll swap over to terrace. This is a really big and sprawling map, so sometimes it's a little bit harder to jump into, so this will be definitely a little bit longer video compared to my others. Alright, so we're going to start with the CT. There's a couple of ways to go right off the bat if you're from A site, playing A site. You can go picnic, or you can go bathroom. We're going to start with picnic. Actually, we'll start with bathroom. It'll be a little more encompassing. So there's two ways through. You can either run through the actual bathroom area, or this is outside of it. And then pretty much by the time you reach up here, this is when the enemy is going to be peeking from right over in that direction. So really, you don't want to be pushed up too far this way, because even if you're engaging with somebody over here, there's going to be somebody who might come up from stairs down there. So it's really good to have maybe one guy play this angle, or possibly this angle, maybe one guy there, one guy here to watch stairs. And a big thing is to be careful because they can wrap if the guy isn't watching the cross correctly right here. They can come around through this area up here where there's a little picnic going on. They can come around through that past this fountain and come up to here and maybe pick off the guy who's trying to watch the cross, or they could run up through that little area. This is the playground where people can avoid fountain entirely. So like if you see right here, no one's even going to know that they rotated around. So you need to be careful watching all of your angles. This is definitely a harder site to play. You don't want to push too far unless you know that you're trying to kind of just throw yourself at it. Sometimes I'll like to push stairs really fast. And then you can hold this angle, because if they try and run through that door there, or if you are fast enough, you can get to this angle here and just shoot anybody that's running through. You generally do not want to push up too much farther than this line right here, because when they're coming down this ladder, they'll get here just about before you do. Another thing to do is if you're just getting every single time they're pushing you back, they're wrecking you at A site, it is a good idea to start playing really passive. So that means falling all the way back to A site. So you're playing this angle, you're playing truck, you're playing something that is a lot more passive actually on the site. This is one of the few maps that it's really viable to sit on the A site at all times. Just because some of these angles farther out aren't very reasonable. Something that's also possible is if you're, normally you want to do this if you've got good aim with an AK, or especially an op, you'll play picnic with it. You just have to be careful that nobody comes up real close to you here. So sometimes you might want to play a little bit back in an angle to just try and get some picks that way. Alright, we're going to rotate over to B site. Oh, you know what? Let's keep on talking about this side of it. It's really common for the for the terrorists to push up. They'll come up through this planter here. Maybe they'll have one guy picnic, and then everybody else will be coming up this way. They like to check bank first, but then everybody normally focuses on truck. In the lower ranks, they'll focus on truck a lot more. So it's just a good thing to kind of vary where you're sitting. You can sit behind this truck, which is a good way. You don't get flanked besides from your teammates generally. So you can play this and support truck, or support a guy sitting in this box. It used to be viable to sit behind this box, but since they opened up this pathway like this, it's pretty easy to get pincered from each side. So you normally, one guy truck, kind of playing like this, and then one guy over here by the bank truck, sitting like this. And then a good thing too is if you don't want to sit bank truck, you can actually sit all the way back here, which is a lot safer. And you get a few more angles off, and you can fall off if you need to. Now if you fall off, this will just take you down. There's this stairway here, which I'll get to in a second. But if you do this, it brings you up to, wow, they changed this back. It used to be different. Wow, okay. Anyways, you can come upstairs, and you can play this angle here. This is generally an angle that a person rotating from B is going to play, but you'll play here to watch truck. watch site. And yeah, if we go down here, this stairway case right here, and then this staircase that we passed up earlier. This map, this area will get you confused early on. It's just a matter of playing it to kind of understand where all these staircases lead. But this will be a spot that you want somebody with an AUG or an op or a scout to play. What they will do is you can either watch this sandbag over here, which is called short, or you can watch from this direction over here. You have to be careful because they can come on this side of the pillar or they can come on this side. Generally, they'll push on the left side. So you'll want to watch with that. Cut off your angle so you're not getting peaked when you're not watching short. Or alternatively, you can pull back, right to here and watch short, but that's not as viable and as practical as watching from that angle. Now, if you go down, follow the staircase, boom, 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 it'll take you down to B site. When you have quite a bit of time generally when you first start off a CT to kind of spread out on B site. So you kind of have a couple of options. You can actually jump out that window that we were just at and kind of slide down this to take no damage, but you kind of have to practice it a little bit or else you'll get a good 15 health at least chunk out of it right away, and you don't want that. So something that I've seen a lot of people play is this corner right here to watch this angle. Generally, I don't like it because it's hard to fall off. So if they're rushing through there, maybe you'll get one pick, but as you move across, they could kill you. So I don't really like to play that one too much, but it is there and it is available. So that's that. And then you can play this angle here. You just have to make sure that you have somebody on short with you, but you can play this angle. You even have enough time to get up all the way up to here before the terrorists move in, so you can actually push their advance right here if you'd like. Again, generally always good to hold an angle besides pushing. Now this site is actually really small compared to most sites. So most people are either going to plant right in this corner, right in front of this, or right in this corner. There's not too much variation on it. So when you're going for the defuse, just kind of keep that in mind. This is a common place for people to hold once they've planted bomb, so be careful and check this every single time. And it's basically any map that has sandbags, always check behind sandbags. It's so common for people to hide behind them. And then you're going to have a guy that comes over here and watches this area right here. So this is called short, this little pathway. You generally do want somebody watching this path. I don't push up that far. I will actually jump up on here and hide up here like this. But it's a big thing to be careful of because they can push through this squeaky door right here, which if you remember from earlier is that stairs that I was talking about with the ladder further down there. So what you can do is if you can get it fast enough, you can hide right here. So if somebody's coming out of the door, you generally could hear the door open first before they see you, which is nice. But it's also good to kind of just play around. Don't hide in this corner because your mobility is greatly inhibited. You'll see them, you'll try to be shooting them, and they'll just throw grenades at you and pin you down. And this is really spammable right here, and they'll just shoot through that and get you killed. And if they have anybody in this doorway here, you're definitely like double screwed. Now, if you know that they're not coming short, or, which is a really great thing to do, is if you smoke this off, it's always really great to smoke this tunnel off. Because, even that other one's nice, but especially this one, because they won't push through it. If they do, then you have an instant pick on them. But get two people coming short, smoke that off, and then boost, have both of you stand right here. One of them jumps onto the other's head. And let me show you with no clip. If you boosted, you can actually see into this room. If you're on your friend's head right up here, it's kind of hard to get the position right by myself, but basically you can see into here before and see them run by, which is nice. So if, that's something you can try and do. And then I'll show you another really great boost site for this map is coming over here. You can I think you can do it on either side, but right here, if you have your team, you can actually if you have a scout, you can, where is it? Right here. I guess the scout won't work by yourself, but you can peek right here and just jump up and down to see if anybody's rushing out of that short and then warn your teammates. But if you get somebody and boost up, you can peek over the wall. I think it might be right here that you have to do it, but you can boost onto each other's heads and get a nice peek off there. Now, if you're either side and you're trying to save this little area over here, trying to stay out of because there's too many angles that people can come from. But generally, when I'm trying to save, I'll either play right here and try and get anybody that's running up that pathway. But an even better positioning is behind these pallets. If you can get back, this is actually up here where that truck is, where I'm shooting. That is where the terrorists spawn. So generally, excuse me, generally you won't have people, whoa. Generally you won't have people coming back through here unless they're trying to hunt you, which this is a sketchy spot because they can get here if they're on B site before the bomb totally explodes. But it's a nice place to kind of get a quick first pick. Like if you're playing this angle, you get a pick and then fall back, like a closing pick. All right, now we will go ahead and go through a couple more areas as CT. No, we don't. We don't need to. We'll start off now as a terrorist. I'm not going to restart the map. We'll just continue like we are. So say I'm a terrorist. I'm walking this way. You have two options, A and B, just like every map. We will go on to A site. Oh, we'll go to B site first since that one's still fresh in our minds. You're running down here. You're running down here. Generally, you want to have the majority of the people go through this pathway because this one can get shut off really quickly. So you're going through and you'll always want to check this box first and then come around, watch sight, don't peek out too far because you don't want the guy that's up there to hit you, but you want to peek out, come up here, check short, and then as one of you is checking short, your other teammate can be swinging wide to try and get the guy that's up here. And generally, if you shoot for just about that railing right there, that's where their head's gonna be. So it's a nice spot to shoot through. And then as you move up, make sure there's nobody here. Some people will kind of fall back if they feel pressured. I know I always do. I'll fall back into this little area here. And just kind of hide and wait from the plant, and you can spam through that or something, but it's only out of panic that I'll fall down. And then as you have your guys short come through, clear, and then once you guys have sight and the bomb is planted, generally want to have one guy playing short, either right here or up by sandbags. You want to have one guy behind this pillar here, watching up here, and then you want to have one guy at least over here watching a flank. Now, alternatively to that push on the site, you can do another split. So as you're sending a guy short and a guy through long there, you can have one guy come through squeaky, which is really great. Have him lurk through, so he's running, and then boom, hits this ladder and starts walking here. You can actually jump down and hit these pallets and slide off. You just have to make sure not to hit the ground and take some fall damage, but more importantly, alert the team that you're here. So let me just close this door real quick. If you're walking through here, definitely by the time you reach the corner of this, that's when you want to start walking because you don't want them up there to hear you. You're fine to keep going through because normally people do not push through squeaky. Just make sure that it is a possibility, but generally people don't rush through squeaky. You can watch this corner right here, but as you move up, just make sure you're watching your angles because generally there's going to be a guy right up here or right up here. So when you're a CT and you're watching stairs, you can also alternatively hide up here and get a good pick off. The only thing is they have peeker's advantage on that spot, as well as most of these spots will have peeker's advantage. You just kind of have to have the element of surprise to kind of balance out the peeker's advantage. But anyways, you'll come through. You'll push through door, and then the first thing you want to do is just kind of clear this little courtyard of any CT. So as you move out, open door, they'll hear it, boom, kind of sit here to your side, nothing, okay. Then check here, nothing, and then here, nothing, and then we'll move forward and go on to B site. And that's when you'll clear short for your teammates and be a great asset because then you can come over here, pick a guy off there that your teammate right there might be having some trouble with. Now we're going to jump over to A site as the terrorist. There's not too much, I don't want to say there's not too much strategy to it, but really it's just kind of about just getting picks. So generally I like to send 3 people to the right and 2 people to the left. If you send 3 people to the right, you always want to watch this corner right here, as well as any kind of spot right there, because that's if somebody's going to peek you from in the very beginning, it's going to be right there. And as you spread up, you want one guy to kind of come around the fountain, two guys to come around the fountain, sorry, and kind of make sure that this little area is clear. And then send one person up here to kind of clear this area and to kind of watch that. And then as two other people will come through, the first guy that didn't go around the fountain is hugging the wall the entire time. He's just hugging, and boom, peeks out, and then peeks each corner in turn. And you have two people going down here, one person up there, and then you I like to have two people coming this way through park. Sometimes they'll hide behind this rock here, but since they changed this map not too long ago, it has been kind of not too advantageous, excuse me, to come through this area. However, once you have cleared this zone, send one person through here to clear bathrooms this way, and then have another person be the premier scout, basically, to get up here to kind of to take in early picks on the site. So these guys, if there is anybody on site, they're going to be focused on the people coming from bathroom, and hopefully you can get a quick pick off. Now, when you're coming off through long, your first order of business is to check truck and this little staircase over there, and then kind of move around and watch this way, because you want to make sure you don't get flanked yourself. Then peek wide as you can to check bank, and make sure you're doing that all really quickly, because this is a site that has a lot of quick movements. And then from there you can just help your teammates clear out. Now, I understand that ideally it never really works out that way, but in an ideal world, that's kind of the play that you want to go through. Generally, if you're a terrorist, you don't want to go downstairs here, because unless you guys decide, okay, we're going B, then everybody has to run down here. But generally, it's not a great idea, just because CTs can be rotating and you'll get caught off guard. So it's never really a great idea to rotate through that stairs. Just kind of continue with your push to A site. A big thing about this map is a lot of people will get in the same routine, where every single time they run to the same spot and get killed. This is one of the big maps that if you're holding an angle and you keep getting killed there, say if you get killed twice like in a row at that same angle, I would move to a different spot for the next round for sure. Other maps, sometimes you're like, no, I know what I'm doing wrong. I didn't have my reflexes on point or whatever. This is a map though that you really just play a different angle, because there's so many different spots, and this map isn't played that often, that most people aren't gonna think to check at a new angle the next time. So you can hopefully get a surprise pick off that way. Alright, so this has just been some angles and some tips for playing. I'll make another video about just the callouts for this map. It should be pretty quick. There's not too much that we need to cover. Alright, peace out.